Good morning. Yeah, well, actually, I guess I could say it's almost afternoon. It just got so cold in Kansas that I am just now getting dressed. Now, those of you who know me are just like totally shocked because usually by now, my day usually starts around 4:45 in the morning. So, you know, I'm usually a go kind of person. But last night, I just couldn't sleep. So, I'm smoking a P-tip curved, but it's actually just an Italian, nice Italian pipe. Uh, Wonderful. I've been smoking it a lot, and in it, I have no friggin' idea. It's got so many little bits and pieces in it by now that, you know, I was looking over there and I had a container that had, this is dry, but it was some Maduro. So I had some of something in here of Virginia, so I threw some Maduro on top of it just to give it a nice little zing of hitting that caffeine. But I'm not, actually, I'm drinking water. Hitting the caffeine and the nicotine early in the day. Time to get it going, get it up, get it moving. Good news, bad news kind of thing. Bad news. We're gonna move. It's time. When I bought this house, it was built in 18. I think the original date is 1869, but it was built before that, and then it was taken down and brought back up from the structure. It's got like a basement, sub basement, and if you go way back into the videos and stuff, because I have 200 of them out there, you'll see pictures of the house. I've done like Christmas parties and hours of video that nobody back then they watched, but there was no reason. I kind of live in a carriage house now just because I like it, but the house is just too old. It was Dr. Weaver's old house. Remember, all this. Actually, I'm kind of talking to Danny, just so you guys know. And to Miss Skeeter and all you guys that know the house history and stuff. Anyway, it's Dr. Weaver's old house. There was a morgue and a surgery in the basement. I had a really great library down there, pinball machines, foosball tables, and all this kind of stuff. But it's too big, and it's too old. And when I bought it 15 years ago, I was 15 years younger, and I sank a whole lot of money into the house, into things that people don't see. Things like, the attic now has 18 inches of blown insulation on the top floor. All of the ceiling lights are now canned ceiling lights, so there's actually lights in all those rooms. But, in the long run, it doesn't make a lot of difference. Trying to keep the structure and the integrity of the house has been really a burden and an expensive burden. And so I just can't keep them no longer. So I'm moving. And I'm going to go down from, this is 5,000 square feet. And that's not counting this carriage house. The carriage house, which is kind of like a guest house, is another 1,800, I think. And then there's a loft that is useless. But anyway, but you could sleep in it. You could. And as far as when it was built 15 years ago, all of my nieces and nephews were in the middle of having their little families and stuff. And so this here was just one big room. And all it was couches and things, and the kids could go up there and play pirates up there and stuff. But they've all grown up, and they're having babies and stuff. And my sisters are grandmas now, so they meet at grandma's house. And so it's time to go, and so I'm doing that. In the process of all of this, you just have so much stuff to get rid of. But I keep finding tobacco and stuff, that I've tucked away here and tucked away there. It's amazing how much I have. I just keep finding it, but it's not necessarily like great tobacco anymore. It's some that has been in a jar, set back in a corner with 3 other jars that had a little bit in them, so I'll probably just throw all of that together because most of it will be Virginia's or English. That's the two that I kind of go toward. So I'll probably just make I don't know but it smells nice, kind of blend like, we smoke all the time. Truthfully, what'll probably end up tasting like is a whole lot like 965, because that's what 965 is, what they swept up off the floors. But I love 965, so I'm just making jokes. Today's menu is, I'm going to finish that pipe, because this Maduro is really a nice, here's in your face tobacco taste, and I like that. But, okay, so that's bad news. Good news. I'm getting into my cabinets and stuff. And I reach back and I grab a couple of pipes and a couple of Denny's out there. And I said, well, I've got a little bitty one of those little bitty apples. And I reached back there and I grabbed a couple more. Like that. Just grabbed them. And I brought them over here because I'm going to find their boxes, because I got all the boxes and stuff. And their socks. Oh, I have every original piece. I even have the little metal piece that goes inside that some people thought was for a cooling thing or something in there, or a filter or something. And it really was just really a cleaning rod that he put in those because people had so much trouble in the early days because there wasn't pipe cleaners like we got pipe cleaners. Anyway, I go on and stuff. Isn't that a beautiful Canadian? Anyway, nice little gold ring. Love that. Love that top on it and everything. Well, so I picked this one up, and it's just a nice briar. Love the curve. Love the band. It's hallmarked. It's a dunny. And I'm looking at it, and it's like a 4114. It's probably from 2005, anywhere from 2005 to 2010. And I'm looking at it, and I don't know if you guys can see. I never smoked it. I was feeling so bad about everything, and I looked on the stem, and I thought, oh my, it's beginning to get a little oxidation on it, because I'm really bad about my pipes, you guys. It's just, they're my pipes. I smoke them and do what I want with them. And really, I think if there was a Danny, he gets on me about it. For years, we'd always said, that he was supposed to come here and clean all my pipes because, but it's a new one. And so I was feeling kind of bad about moving and all that kind of stuff and just things in general. And to just all of a sudden come across kind of like I want to say a present to myself. It was just really pretty neat. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to smoke it or not, though. I mean, I would hate to have a pipe and not at least run one or two bowls through it. I know that back there you'll see Paris and Helen, but and they are two of Paul's pipes that Danny and I had. They were made for us, and I bought him that for Christmas one year. But we put tobacco in it, but we never lit it because he didn't want to. So, okay, I didn't care. We won't do it then. Anyway, so I might not smoke it, but isn't that kind of neat? And along with that, which I was like, oh my, that's terrific. And the reason I'm saying it's got to be before this age, because along with that, in that box, well, in that pile that I reached in there and pulled out, underneath it was sundown pipe tobacco. And it's, it's a McClellan. It's made, it's just a little bit still puffy-ish. It's a 2011, and it was made for, a pipe club. Wasn't it, who was that made for? Well, it was made for pipes and cigars. Okay, well, anyway, it's all Virginia's. It's really got some bright flavors in there and everything, and it's one of the ones that I didn't get a lot of, and I wish I had them because it wasn't really like a big popular thing at the time, and but I liked it. I wish I'd gotten more. So it was almost kind of like I got I got a new Dunny. I got a tin of my, one of the ones I like. It's not an aromatic, and so as a result, uh, 2011. It's time to open it. If it had been an aromatic, I probably would have had it. I probably should have had it opened already by now. But it's kind of like you get yourself a present every once in a while. But what I'm actually smoking in the other pipes was the 3-year. And then I have some ready rubbed Virginia around here. Some of I think Dunhill's ready rubbed in, and I throw that in all the time. I'm on a Virginia kick right now. That's why this Maduro was kind of a nice pipe tobacco-y, but like a cigar. That Maduro just reminds me of getting a good cigar and taking a couple puffs of our friends, because heck, when we went to Weston, it took us all day to smoke those cigars. I don't think I ever finished mine, but those were good cigars. That was a fun day. Well, that was about all I was going to say is, good news, bad news. And when I get the house cleared out and when I get down to where it's just what is going to be sold as far as the furniture is concerned. But first I got to find somewhere to move. And in the middle of the winter time, so it might not be like I do it tomorrow or nothing, but it is going to have to get done. I give up. I bought this old house and I put a lot of money into it, but I still owe a lot on it, and so I'm gonna be taking probably a big loss because between the down payment and the rebuilding of the garage, this garage, which is a carriage house on the top, which is a really nice little carriage house, and you've seen pictures of it before. It's on top of a 2-car garage in a brick building. It's the carriage house, and this alone costs almost as much as a new house would have cost. So I'm gonna hate to leave, but in a way I'm kind of glad to leave. I think I'm gonna rent. It'd be nice not to worry about the pipes breaking, the air conditioning, the heating, and all the concrete work that's got to be done around here right now. Like I say, this is a young couple's project, and I ain't a young couple no more. But gosh, remember years back, they used to do giveaways, and they would make you do silly videos or tell you stories and things like that. And I remember one time we did a giveaway, not me, but the YTPC did a giveaway where you had to say who you would be, anybody you would be if you could be somebody for just, like a month or so. Who would it be? And I said I wanted to be a 35-year-old handyman because, that's what this place needs, is a 35-year-old handyman who has nothing to do for about 7 or 8 years and wants to devote themselves to restoring, Dr. Weaver is a big, if you look him up, you'll see he was part of the Lawrence College, starting that. He was he was the medical doctor for President Grant. He was, the doctor for the fort in the 60s. We're right there after the war, and we've got Fort Leavenworth, we've got the Veterans Hospital. So when this house was built, this was a very it was a nice big house for a big family and stuff, but people have died in it, and there's a surgery, like I say, and a morgue in the basement, and the ghosties are going to stay here. They don't want to come with me, I'm sure. They're welcome to, but I'd prefer they didn't. There's none of them bad here. These are all good ghosts, so it's okay. You guys laugh when I say that, but I am kind of, I think, sensitive to things, and that's why I had a bad night sleeping. We've got this, we're at like 28 degrees, 26, 24, so we're hovering in the low 20s to the high 20s, right now, and it's a very dampness out there. And with that temperature and that dampness, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of friction going on in the air itself, and it kind of emits an electricity to me, and they say like that I'm sensitive to this, and I am. And then of course then that in turn translates to, you know, the knee, the hip, and all that. Oh man, nobody told me getting old was gonna hurt so bad, Danny. You know, you were supposed to be here to do all this when I got old. Come on, get over here in this cold weather. They were complaining because it's 60 degrees in California. Well, it's always good to talk to you. Happy, happy, joy, joy. You guys, you know I'm watching you. Be good.